Terrific Tuesday, everybody. We're back, moving the chains, rocking and rolling. Sammy McIntyre, your man, after watching that Viking Bear game last night, which was tale of two halves, it felt like. I got a lot to dive into with that. I got some NFL news we got to touch on today. Want to give a shout out to my guy Max Lawson at the gym tonight. Just always appreciating my content. Much love, brother. I love you. Go Ravens. Happy for you and the new son. Turn him into a Ravens fan. Hell yeah, brother. America. I just love our friendship, brother. I just wanted to say that to start. Just made me feel so grateful that I do this podcast, not just for you guys, because I inform you on football and I bring my passion, but I just bring a joy to life, and I try to with football, that I love this game so much. So, to start off with, that game last night, it was, like I said at the top, it was a tale of two halves. Beginning half, early on, I thought Ben Johnson was putting a staple on the Caleb Williams show. Very completion-driven, get the ball out quick, which was a knock on Caleb coming out of college at USC. And then it just kind of spiraled. And, you know, that first drive was just scripted. It was on point. It was get rid of the ball. Caleb Williams, I felt like was going through the system with Ben Johnson. It felt right, and it felt good to be a Bear fan last night. The place was humming. 85 Bears. You had Deja. You had the whole show going on. It was just rocking last night in Chicago, and I felt it when I watched it on my TV. And my dad was watching it, and everybody was watching it last night in my living room, my brother and me. And I just had a lot of notes that I was, taking in mentally last night when I was watching it. So that was first half of Caleb Williams. And then J.J. McCarthy, he was struggling through that pick six, and I'm like, Bears are running away with this thing. And then it kind of flipped. And then Caleb started showing the bad habits again. They had 12 penalties last night, 8 on offense. A lot of them were just Caleb not getting the play in right. This is year 2, dude. Like, come on. And this is why, again, I'm not going to make revisions history. I said this before the draft. I don't doubt the talent. I doubt everything else mentally up here with the kid. He's not, I just don't see it. And listen, I know a lot of people are making fun of his nails, and that is a big problem for me. Okay? I've been saying that for years. I'm all for if you paint your nails, not my cup of tea, teach their own, whatever. But when you're writing fuck Notre Dame and Utah and all that other shit, I got problems with it because it's a distraction. Okay? And it's just a lot of me stuff. And I get he was an NL superstar. I get all that. In Chicago, as dysfunctional as it all gets out when it comes to offense. And trust me, to Matt Schiffer and all my Chicago family, you know that by now. I don't need to revisit it. And I said this at the time, Ben Johnson, I figured he won a head coaching job. Okay? I kind of figured he would. And I don't think he was not going to take the Bears job, but I think he signed up for, I got Caleb Williams. I can get this ship right in Chicago, get a winner again. But it's different now. And, there's a difference between calling plays and running the whole operation. There's certain guys that are just coordinators, and that's okay. You make a good living, all good. But then there's guys that are CEOs, that just feel like a coach. Mike Vrabel, the Dan Campbells of the world. Mike Gesicki knows all about that. Mike Hesnick, excuse me. And I just feel like with Ben Johnson last night, and listen, it's one game, I'm not going to jump the gun, but it was alarming last night with some shit. Okay? Caleb missing, skipping balls. I'm watching the replay on the TV at the gym tonight. One of my buddies, Marshall, is a Bears fan. He's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm feeling the same way. So I just, to me, with Caleb, and I said this, he does a lot of, he gives you glimpses that he can play within a system. He can play within an offense. And then he goes back to the same shit he did at USC. Playmaking, all this stuff. That's great. We all fall for it. I fall for it sometimes. With the inamorability. That talent with Caleb is undeniable. I've said that. What I said he was a bust was, I don't like all the other shit he does. I'm not into his attitude. I'm not into his body language. You felt that last night with Ben Johnson. He's getting pissed. He's like, dude, I'm calling the plays. Run them. And maybe Caleb just isn't it. I don't know. But that was alarming last night. For a team in the Bears that had a lot of promise. My Aunt Colleen was like, they might be good this year. And I thought so too. But it comes down to this quarterback. The coach can do all he wants. But they can move off Caleb tomorrow if the Bears wanted to. Now, I'm not saying they would. But the coach got juice now. But this organization, I've been saying it, I just can't trust it as far as I can throw it. I was talking to my buddy Max tonight at the gym. There's just certain organizations you don't trust. And the Bears are one of them. I mean, what are they doing? Pole's got an extension, but I guess that's a good move. I don't know. I think he's been okay, but not great. McCaskey's, they look like Biden on steroids because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They have 20 kids on the staff, it feels like. And they're inept on offense. And I'm pulling for the Bears because I got family there. But gee, you guys make it hard. And last night showed me a reflection of more of the Bears fuck-ups than the Vikings. And listen, the Vikings have had the same coaching staff and all that camaraderie. I get all that. And I'll touch on them in a second because I feel like that really turned it for me. But with Caleb, man, you better wake up because I know how Chicago media gets, and I listened to a little bit of it with David Kaplan and those guys. I respect them. Nah, they're not going to fly with this, man. This is Chicago. This is blue collar. We work hard. We spent $400, $500 a ticket in Chicago. And that, you put a performance on like that? I don't know. First game, I'm not going to jump the gun, but a lot of alarming signs last night for me that just really didn't sit well with me in terms of Caleb. His attitude on the body language, all that other shit came creeping in last night of why I was never sold on the kid and why I continue to not be sold on Caleb Williams. So I want to touch on Minnesota because that was impressive last night. Matt Schiffler, I'm talking to you, buddy. He went to your high school, Nazareth. That was just a phenomenal performance last night. And listen, this is his first game. So I didn't go into this with any expectations of it's going to be bumpy. He's going hometown. He's playing against the Bears, the team he grew up with. He's a rival. He's coming in. He wants to take it and stick it to the Bears. But I did think it was cool last night where they had, Caleb. And I've been on this. I've had my issues with him. But it was cool he had the Urlacher jersey on. That was kind of cool. I remember rocking that back in the day. When my mom, before she passed away, gave me one of those. Along with LT and, kids my age grew up with. But last night was Minnesota just coming out. And this team has got 14, 15 win expectations on it. And there's hope with that team right now. And there should be. I mean, he played well last night. He has a lot of toughness, grittiness, resolve. Jim Harbaugh, I've never heard a guy praise a guy more than J.J. McCarthy. And I saw it last night. This kid's a gamer. That's the first word I thought of. This morning when I woke up, I went, gamer. 17-6 in Chicago. Place is buzzing. You got all this shit going on, and this kid delivered. Threw that nice ball to Jefferson, threw that beautiful wheel route to Jones, who's still a baller. I still can't believe Green Bay let him go, but I kind of get it. He's a stud, man. I've been saying that for a long time. Very underrated back in this league. Can catch it, can run it, do all the good things well, do all the dirty work. But to me, this was more Kevin O'Connell in his command. I mean, listen, and I still have questions about Kevin O'Connell. Can he get a playoff win? Because the media, and they love to do this, they give guys like this reach-arounds. I saw it with Mike McDaniel, although they're turning on his stupid ass. Miami's just a mess. God, Jesus. I know guys at the gym, Tim Brooks, and a bunch of other people that are Dolphin fans, they're like, let me be quarterback. But I don't even think you can be quarterback because it's so bad down there and the toxicity and all that shit. It's awful. But I'll say with Kevin O'Connell, he can get the most out of quarterbacks. He did it with Josh Dobbs that one game. He did it with Sammy Darnold last year until the back 2 games of the year where he struggled. And that's okay. But he did it with JJ last night, and he kept believing in the kid. And that's another thing. These coaches sometimes, they get close, and they're like, I kind of buy into the kid, and then he fucks up, and then he's like, I'm out. Not this coach. I like this Minnesota team. And I'm a Packer fan. I hate being weird here. But they're a good team. Like, they were 14 wins last year. In Minnesota this year, they got expectations. Like, I think this roster, to me, when I watch it, not in terms of offensively, they got pieces everywhere. Now, their O-line was struggled a little bit last night. That kind of alarmed me because I thought Christian Darrisaw was coming back from his ACL. Maybe they kind of eased him into it. Because when he's in the lineup, their offensive line can play with anybody. Now, I'm being dead serious. Now, their interior's okay. They upgraded. They had a weak spot there last year. They got that figured out with Ryan Kelly. was telling my dad last night that Ryan Kelly, he's a Colts player. He's on the Vikings now. Oh, my God. So he's still playing at a good level. Always loved Ryan Kelly coming out of Alabama, the high pedigree, mental horsepower, the physical horsepower we all know, and one of Saban's better players in the long line of Nick Saban players. But I will say this with the Vikings, that was impressive. And their coaching staff's phenomenal. Kevin O'Connell being the coordinator, coaching quarterbacks, being the OC, and being the head coach, all ringleadering and all. Brian Flores, who just is outstanding as a defensive coordinator. And you can bang on him for the Tua shit and all that. This guy can coach defense. And he knows what he's doing. And I said it a couple times last year. I saw a couple times of it last night where I'm watching it closely. They're sending blitz and then they back off. And then they're playing off, they send the house. It's just very confusing. And I'll never forget Brock Purdy saying, dude, I was seeing ghosts. I didn't know where the blitz was coming from. Jordan Love has mentioned that. But I don't know, man. I was impressed with JJ last night. And you know what he reminded me of last night? I know Coward, and I have my beef with him because I'm kind of hit and miss with Coward sometimes. But he had a point last night that really got me. You know what JJ reminded me of? Mark Shabby, I'm talking to you, buddy. Michigan guy. My man Baker Mayfield. The gamer, the toughness. He's just got energy. He brings it. It exudes in the locker room. And I felt that last night. And he's going to have his slumps. And he's not as big as I love him to be. But this kid's got gamer in him. He's tough. The guys buy into him. There's hope in the Minnesota locker room. I've been saying this for years. Minnesota and the Chargers are very similar. You know? Now, can they ever get a ring? I think they can eventually. They're going to break through. I mean, at some point. 12 teams don't have a Super Bowl yet. One of those 12 is going to break through. And I think Minnesota, if I was kind of on where they're at, I think they could. I just think the NFC, besides Philly, you got Washington. Tampa's not too bad. You got other pieces. I just am so impressed with JJ last night. The poise, the calmness in him. I was kind of worried, like, God, he hasn't really completed more than, they didn't really have to throw a lot in college, and last night, they kind of let him sling that pill a little bit. And I thought he played okay. First 3 quarters was kind of scary. I kind of worried this was going to be the J.J. McCarthy experiment this year, even with a loaded team like Minnesota has. But I was really impressed last night with J.J. McCarthy. And if they can continue this, and I cannot wait for next Sunday night. My brother and I were talking about this the other day. Falcons go to Minnesota. Penix, McCarthy, the National Championship game from 2 years ago, 23 rematch. I can't wait. This has got exciting. I don't know if it's going to be Buffalo, Baltimore level pinball machine, but it's got the potential to be on paper. We don't play games on paper, folks. We play them on the grass. And let me tell you, that was impressive last night. Speaking of a little bit of news that I found today, Tank Bigsby from Jacksonville got traded to the Eagles today. 5th or 6th round pick. I don't make much of it. He's a stud, though. I like Tank Bigsby a lot. I watched him a couple games last year against the Colts, which seems like the Colts never can win in Jacksonville for some reason. I don't know why. So I like that. Going down, Philadelphia is just aggressive. They go all in. Oh, the roster's pretty good. I want to tweak it. I want to get it to be excellent. And that's what Howie Roseman does, one of the better sharp GMs in football. The Niners got some guys banged up right now. When I got talk about Kittle, I talk about Purdy's out for a little bit. It's not good. So, again, Brock Purdy got paid the big bucks. You got to show me you can drive this bus now when a lot of other parts around you aren't all together. You're either a truck or you're a trailer as a quarterback. Brock Purdy last week, he's got a little gunslinger in him. I really thought, and I agree with Middlecoff on this, he had to play the game like Drew Brees. Very surgical, very mental horsepower, just in terms of upstairs. Because that's the superpower that he has. And I was going to mention that with J.J. McCarthy. The superpower that he has with J.J. is the poise, the mental, the grit. That's the superpower. Brock Purdy's is up here. He's got the mental horsepower. It is. You can throw a lot at his plate and we won't get overwhelmed by it. He'll embrace it. I remember Trent Dilfer years ago with Gruden and Derek. And I've always said it's a weird fit, but Dilfer made the point of, John throws a lot of shit at a quarterback's plate mentally, and a lot of information. Can you absorb it, handle it, and go. And I feel like JJ could do that with Kevin O'Connell's offense, and same with Purdy. But now Purdy's got Debo left, Kittle's out, you got some shuffling parts. Can you still hold this thing together and be an efficient offense? And I believe he will with Kyle Shanahan. He's one of the sharpest guys in the business, but he's got to get a ring, and he's kind of like Andy Reid of the past. So just to recap, Minnesota, impressive win. I was really impressed by them last night. The Bears, long way to go. Got some concerning alarm bell signs going off with Caleb and his nonsense. I'm pulling for the Bears, but it might be a long season. And then just some NFL news I want to touch on. So, excuse me. Hope you guys are doing well. Terrific Tuesday. Got more content coming out this week. College football, pro. Let's go. Hope you guys are doing well. Adios. Godspeed.